On the first day of class, we were asked what sort of teacher we would be. Here's what I wrote. I'm the sort of teacher who's learning all the time. I'm learning about myself, others, relationships between people, whether or not I want to be a teacher, music, art, writing, and of course, mathematics, my major. I love learning, I'm good at learning, and I hope to share this love of learning with my students and even other teachers who may have lost or forgotten this love, or who may have never experienced it at all. I can't believe I actually wrote that, but I guess I know where it's coming from, because I still see myself primarily as a student. This is my environment. I am in a classroom on the other side of the desk getting taught by guys who look something like this, but I blurred his face. I'm giving presentations to the rest of the class that look like this. I'm hanging out in the student lounge, reading books and studying and trying to learn from what I see as real teachers. And I'm on the Education Students Society, not the Education Teaching sort of, I guess, society. This is my average day. I get to school, I walk down the hallways, I see my friends, I hang out, I'm a student. Oh look, Sam's balancing a cell phone on her nose. And now I'm in a classroom getting taught, sort of, having a work period, I guess. But here's the thing, I'm learning, not teaching. Oh look, here's me doing a project for my classes that I am taking to learn. And all the time I'm thinking, why aren't I teaching yet? So I googled teachers to see what teachers actually do. Here's the first image I found. Oh look, she's writing on a blackboard. Here's the second image I found. Oh look, she's writing on a blackboard. Here's the third image I found. Oh look, he's writing on a blackboard. And here's the last one. He's posing a question. How thought-inspiring. Do I really want to be like these first 4 Google image search results and write at a chalkboard for the rest of my life? Of course not. I want to be like Splinter and really get to know my students. Or even be like Yoda and, I don't know, appeal to my existential learners. Or maybe be like Mr. Miyagi and teach some stuff that really applies to life. I don't want to be a hero, and I don't want to aspire to this unreachable plateau that media says that I should be. All I want is, and I quote, to share this love of learning with my students.
Today, more than ever before, education is playing an important role in the teaching of children. The school has become a vital part of every community, drawing children from every walk of life.
Off to school, George.
Eager to take advantage of its opportunities. Childish energy lets nothing stand in its way. The person upon whose capable shoulders rests the responsibility for their education is that unsung hero, the teacher. He must handle every situation with the utmost dignity. With a complete understanding of his pupils, the experienced teacher equips himself for the classroom.
So what was wrong with Goofy's class? Why couldn't he gain control of his class right after the bell rang? Oh, I know! Goofy didn't have any bell work. Hey, that'd be a great thing for me to try out during pre-internship.
Homework, children. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14, 15, 16, 17. Who's absent? George, desist!
What did Goofy do wrong there? Oh my goodness! He didn't use I language! Instead of telling George to just desist, he could have given George responsibility for his own behavior and said something along the lines of, George, I get very irritated when you rub the chalk on the chalkboard so as to make that noise. and George would have taken ownership over his own actions. This is one thing I plan to work on during my pre-internship. I want to practice using I language and giving the responsibility for the student's behavior back to the student. One thing that I thought Goofy got completely right was his professional dress. I mean, look at him. He looks respectable. He looks like the kind of person that put some time into how he looked in the morning. And I think that if students think that you put time in to look good, they're more likely to respect you. Now, let's face it, I never really put much effort into how I look. Granted, I'm not usually this bad, but I definitely need some work, because the only day I think I've ever put makeup on was for my wedding. And I look phenomenal that day, so I mean, I know it's possible. So needless to say, my professional development goal is to start dressing professionally. At least when I'm in a school as a teacher anyway. Pre-internship was so much fun, but there were days when I was so nervous to teach. There were days when I wanted to literally pull out my hair. There were days when I was perfectly content to be there, and there were days when I was totally stoked. And guess what? I actually dressed professionally. Woo! Here's some of the stuff I wore. One of the best parts about pre-internship was actually getting to teach consecutive lessons. I learned that lesson planning is actually easier when you know where you're coming from and where you're going, rather than like being thrown into a random class and told, teach this period on this day. It was really nice. I actually got the opportunity to teach an entire unit to one of my classes, so that was really a unique experience, I think. I also learned that classroom management has a lot to do with planning, because one of my classes, I was teaching two of the same classes, right? They were period 4 and period 5, workplace and apprenticeship math. And my period 4 class, it took an extra 3 days to get through the unit just because of classroom management issues. That was actually really cool to see just how much it influences the other. I can't decide what kind of classes I like better. I don't know if I like the quiet classes better because it's easier to teach, or if I like the more rowdy classes better because it's more of a challenge. I really honestly couldn't tell you. I like them both, so I learned something about myself. Looking back on this video, I realized how much I didn't want to be in school anymore, like university, that is. I was so frustrated with the university. I mean, it was almost a year between pre-internship and the last time we were out in a school actually with students. And I guess pre-internship really makes you realize how much you want to be in a classroom. I really want to be in a classroom. I can't wait to actually be out there and have my own class and set my own rules and actually get to teach a whole year to students.